Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our weekly crypto weekly review. I guess we call it episode 39. We're Crypto Traders Arena live every Sunday at 16 UTC right now to talk about our weekly crypto investment plan. Kind of zoomed out look at weekly charts mostly and just trying to stay in the game and get ready for the upcoming bull market whenever that might come. So if you're new to watching this show, welcome. We have a plan that we're calling the Road to Financial Freedom, which is our very simple altcoin investment plan that we've shared with the public in our in these shows, and then also in our Discord channel. You can access our plan and actually all the levels that we're working on pretty much like the top market cap coins, like top 100 or so market cap coins are the focus of that particular plan. And we have a nice trade log spreadsheet that was built by members of our community that goes along with that. And we're just sort of sharing that with everybody and walking through that plan week to week. I guess this is episode 39. So yeah, we're 39 weeks in. Stefan's. I did say bull. I didn't say bull market's now. I just said the word bull market. Geez, you say bull market, and all the crypto heads peaks their ears up. Unfortunately, we're not in a bull market yet. Although actually, this week a little bit more positive week than last week in terms of just crypto looking a little bit more green. Do you think it's still way too early to be calling bull market? And of course, I heard a lot of references to October here. Now we are at the beginning of the month, actually the first day of the month now. So we're moving into the last quarter of the year, which is crazy. God, the year's just flown by. Lots of people saying October. Anya's saying October in the chat. I mean, I don't know. I guess we at least ended September, which I think September is usually kind of a crappy month in like risk on markets. Whether or not we truly have some sort of October, we'll just have to see. But it is looking a little bit better. We'll get into some charts. The weekly charts are still kind of, where they're at. Daily charts, a lot more W's here. And Paul and I were just talking before the show about being mindful of the fact that these W's could very well be a fake out, just because people are going to be jumping on this October train kind of thing. And we'll see if these W's happening right now kind of create a little bit of a fake out. I mean, zoomed out, you have to acknowledge that there's just not really weekly bottoms yet. So we are still bouncing around. If you're trading these things on daily time frames, there's been a lot of nice like swing trades in altcoins, and even like THG or lower time frame trend longs happening. It has just been a little bit more uppy. But I suppose before I get too far into all that, I should see if my co-host is here. You want to say hi to everybody, Paul?
Well, yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm here. Every time, every Sunday, I'm here.
Nice. As always. I'm a little bit jacked up on coffee. I drank a pot of coffee, haven't eaten in a couple days because I decided to fast for some reason. I don't know why. But man, I tell you what, like fasting feels good.
Yeah,
it's weird how it just makes you feel. I have so much energy, but then I piled on a pot of coffee, which made me feel like a little bit.
If you don't put sugar, it's okay. If you put some sugar, then it's a problem.
Oh yeah, no sugar. I never put sugar in my coffee. And if anything, I try to not eat. I mean, I have my
Well, that's my treatment for when I have a cold. I'm just fasting, and I get rid of colds really fast.
Yeah. Feels good. It's always a battle. I try to not eat sugar at all, to be honest, but I have my I just kind of go through this. Well, let's just put it this way.
5 times more addictive than cocaine. So,
well, when I do eat sugar, I usually snort it. So I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
But it's kind of funny. What's that?
In the coffee.
I don't put sugar in my coffee, but that doesn't mean that I don't like sugar. I have to be careful because it's funny. Like consistency in trading is really important. Consistency in diet can be wildly hard for me. I do really well for periods of time, and then I have a tendency to fall off the wagon and eat like shit for a little while. And I did kind of go through one of those benders like a month or so ago, and I'm really trying to get back on track. I suppose it's a lot like anything. Self control is a huge asset in trading and in other parts of life, but damn, is it hard to be able to control those sort of behaviors.
Yeah,
Which,
it's a fight every day.
yeah,
But if you want to succeed in life and everything, you need to fight. That's the problem.
yeah,
It's easier with good habits, but it's never easy. It's easier, but never easy.
yeah. But anyhow, always a work in progress, I suppose, just like all these things. In fact, we have our Capio One school program going right now, which is getting off to a good start. I think we talked about risk management this week, and a lot of that conversation was about control. Of course, risk management comes down to self control and behavioral control at the end of the day too. And of course, we want to have a strategy or a plan in place to help us do that. And at the end of the day, only you can manage your risk appropriately. So it's all the same. Everything's the same. But anyhow, again, welcome everybody. Glad to see the regulars in here, and we're still just plugging away here. See if we can work any bids on altcoins today. Definitely some things I'm interested in for sure. I haven't quite seen the weekly W's I want to see, but definitely coins are looking a little better here, and I think we're getting farther along into this bottom. And general consensus for me still is this accumulation year, and I want to buy this next dip that I believe is coming into the end of the year, or I think will be coming. I thought it'd be cool to just look at a monthly Bitcoin chart since it is the beginning of the month and the beginning of the last quarter, like I was saying. And really, not a lot to say about the monthly chart. It didn't close as ugly as it could have, but we did actually put in a 3-bar top here technically because we just dipped down and took out this low right there at this is a Coinbase chart, but they're all pretty close. $25,234 was the 3-bar fractal top level, and we did actually confirm that breakdown. Of course, we bounced pretty good, and now we just got kind of a monthly doji here, and the beginning of the month just started. Funny enough, that's just that 25,300 head and shoulders neckline, key level that we've talked about just over and over again. So we're still just hanging on to that level, which is also 38.2 of this range here. So we're just hanging above 38.2, same old thing. Well, but it's worth just kind of checking with the monthly chart for the hell of it. I mean, hopefully, if you look at this, it wouldn't be a huge surprise to see some sort of dip, right? We're kind of just looking for that dip wherever it comes in. Ironically, we're still in a big old green box. This is a hilarious reality of Bitcoin. If you're trying to buy Bitcoin, at least you could say you're not buying up top here. And technically, we're below 61.8 of the old range, going all the way back to pre-COVID days, the 2018 bottom. It's funny, while I'm looking at this, though, while I just mentioned that, I remember this time period right here. This is kind of a good example. I'm not saying the price action looks the same right here, but I will just say that they built this sort of fake bottom here. This is what you kind of got to watch out for. Like, I remember during this time period, everybody was convinced 6,000 was the low. Of course, it doesn't look very bottomy on the monthly chart here, but it's kind of funny how this sort of panic dump happened after everyone was convinced 6,000 was the low, and then they just took 50% off and dipped it down to $3,000. So I'd be mindful of that kind of thing happening again. I mean, you could argue COVID was similar, but just sort of, we're not painting equal lows like this, or we're not sort of painting a fake bottom yet. But just some sort of capitulation event to mark the real bottom could be in store for us. And that would, in my opinion, would still, I mean, if we capitulate from these kind of levels, there's still a likelihood that we hold the 15,000 lows, in my opinion. But we'll see. We certainly haven't tested that level yet. So, but point being, you can see that, this is dead cat bounce sort of relief rally after painful bear market. And now we're kind of just sort of hanging on to support, like I said, but it could easily dip down. So, And if I zoom in a little bit, what I really see is a potential head and shoulders here. Like, look, maybe we'll look at the weekly first here, and I'm going to talk about the broader market in a second, but I just wanted to start with that monthly chart. Uh, but it's kind of funny here that we have, this. I think this head and shoulders is still very active. This is that key 25,300 neckline level that like paints this, strong support through here that we're holding on to, which is like the 38.2 if you draw your fibs from here to here, so that's that strong level. And of course the head and shoulders target is still up at like 35k. And who knows, like even on the weekly chart, I could almost see just ripping up there. I'm not saying it's not going to happen or it is going to happen. I could see that head and shoulders still completing before we roll over again. That's why this is sort of a weird location for like being a buyer. It's like we could easily dip and we could easily rip here. It's sort of, we're just hanging on to support for the moment. So, but what I was going to say is it looks kind of funny enough. We're sort of carving out a range, and now we have this head and shoulders bottom, but we're kind of putting in a potential head and shoulders top too. So I see the same thing happening right here. Of course, we'd have to make that right shoulder. So like clearly this 25,300 is a super key level. It will become the neckline of both head and shoulders if we kind of get back up into like reload zones of this move here and roll over again. So up here at like 30,100 is sort of short location, right? I could definitely see people interested in shorting Bitcoin up as we get up to the top of the range there. And if we make this head and shoulders, then this level becomes even more key because it becomes the neckline of two head and shoulders. So if that's not the middle of the road, I don't know what is. For location, that's a fight right there. So we're in the fight right here, trying to hold on to the bull trend. So that's kind of interesting. Now, of course, you can't really call this a head and shoulders yet until we actually see a breakdown up here. And really, the head isn't very pronounced, but it's still there. So it's kind of interesting look at Bitcoin. Point being, we're ironically we're in this reload zone still. So I mean, dollar cost averaging and stuff still is kind of on the table. I don't love buying up here, but if you had 0 Bitcoin on you and you wanted to buy Bitcoin, I could see taking teeny nibbles here and just letting this play out. Just be mindful of the fact we could easily come off a lot. So anyway, that's kind of a fun zoomed out look at Bitcoin for a minute, but I'll back up a little bit here and just quickly talk about the broader market, mostly starting with the DXY. And just all I'll really say about this is it still hasn't broken down, and this is a fantastic example of a 13 EMA support in an uptrend. So like this is not broken yet. So of course, the more the DXY pushes higher, the more downside pressure the risk on market has, crypto and stocks. And this is just a classic example of an uptrend here. I mean, I talked even, it's funny how, I mean, we didn't get like a great bottom way back here. Kind of a little W here on the daily chart, but not great. But either way, we, got a nice bottom. And then as we broke the 200 and checked the 200, we were already into an uptrend. And that just confirmed that we were in this sort of medium-term uptrend. Very common. This is my only point to this is actually there's a couple interesting things in this move. I mean, one, we finally crossed the EMAs here and then they checked it right there and took off. Checked it again there and then took off, broke it through the 200, came back into support of the 200, which is very common, and then took off again and really just straight up. These moving averages are still pointing straight up, and we just got we had another check there and then now a check here this Friday, and just put in a hammer now, a bullish candle. So nothing broken about the DXY here. And now we're also above 38.2s. Like a couple weeks ago, or even last week, we were talking about what could happen here. Like, would we roll over here at 38.2 and sort of confirm this range is still active, or we were going to get through the 38.2 and just sort of confirm that the bull's still active? Kind of looks like we're above 38.2. I don't know. I mean, there's just not really a lot of structure up here to, to make any conclusions, but either way, just uptrend is up, is intact here, and 50% level is probably the next stop. Easily could move higher. The only thing particularly bearish I could say is at least RSI finally got overbought here. So maybe we roll over here like we have in the past couple times that, especially the top back here. And we even kind of like went into overbought and then came back into the we left overbought right away. So we'll see. Certainly no M's, no market structure tops, nothing saying this thing has slowed down on the daily chart. So I suppose we should just kind of, for the meanwhile, just kind of expect that downside pressure as the inverse correlation of the DXY plays out, and this thing keeps pushing higher for the moment. And I think that's evident in the stock market. I don't know if crypto really hasn't been following along with the DXY so well of late for a while now. It kind of seems like, there's been a disconnect a little bit. Like the stock market's been kind of heavy. Crypto's been sort of sluggish, but certainly not heavy per se. It's like been sort of just holding support, like I said, on Bitcoin. So crypto's not really, it looks stronger than the stock market in general. But all I'll say about this is the SPY S&P 500. We did hit the ABC here, and we have the 200 in support down here at like 418, which is this like key level in the 200 pre-moving average. And it sort of looks like we got to hit that before this thing decides if it wants to bottom and bounce or not. And of course, if the DXY is still pushing higher, it's just going to push this down. RSI didn't quite get oversold here. It did barely tick it. And then OBV is still basically pointing down here with no W's. So I think the trend is down for the like medium term. The macro uptrend's still intact. As long as we're above the 200, then the bigger picture uptrend I think is still intact. But in the medium term, clearly we have a lot of downside pressure. And now we have big M's and stuff. There's this massive M and then there's this little M. So any bounces up against those M's are shortable opportunities. So this looks heavy. No bottom. So DXY is no top, SPY no bottom. So I'm, heading into this week, I kind of expect more down. Now I will say that the 13 EMA is sort of sitting here. We didn't quite get up into it. You'll see in a minute the Nasdaq did, but maybe we pop up into the 13 before it has to roll over again. That would be pretty common. There is a 3-bar bullish fractal work in here. So I don't know. Maybe we pop up earlier in the week and then roll over, but I am kind of just still looking for a rollover into the 200. So kind of heavy in the stock market. And Nasdaq, same thing, but I will say that's that 13 EMA tag. And you could see how we just ripped up into it and rolled over. So maybe this is leading, and maybe the ES doesn't get that, or the S&P doesn't get that tag if the Nasdaq continues lower into the beginning of the week. But same basic thing. Didn't complete the ABCD yet, and the 200 is quite a bit lower. The support level is quite a bit lower. So a lot more room to fall here before we get into, that's just open air right here. We're basically, trending down here now, and there's just open air below to the 200. So, and 38.2s for that matter. So there's kind of like confluence here, 38.2, this key high going back to here, and the 200 all kind of paints us 334 on this is the QQQ ETF Nasdaq. So end of story, just kind of heavy in the stock market. And then I'll just say that RSI didn't get oversold here yet, so there's still room to the downside there. But OBV does look like it's trying to bottom here. There is a little bit of a W, and technically a divergence, as a matter of fact, here. Yeah, we have potential divergence because OBV didn't make a new low here. So a little different than the S&P. It's a little stronger of a base trying to set. I just don't think it's really in yet, even though I am kind of looking for a bounce somewhere in here. Seeing this ABCD not complete yet doesn't give me a lot of faith that we're not going to, just roll over again here and at least hit that level. So just kind of heavy. What can you say? And I won't spend too much time on the Russell. I'll just say that it's trending down now, and also 13 EMA tag. That's just like classic. In a trend, you should expect 13 EMA to be resistance. And we are in some sort of downtrend here, and now we're below the 200 in this case. But we are getting to the bottom of the range, so we'll see. There's probably going to be some sort of bounce somewhere down here. We'll just wait for a W to really have any faith that this is going to be able to start moving back up to the middle of the range or higher. No divergences. OBV's pointing down. Just looks heavy. But Bitcoin, like I was already saying, is not looking particularly heavy. If anything, I'm seeing ABCD to the upside here. So it's a little bit messy of a chart, but the story is the same. You could see the support down here at that key 25,300 level. And I see a TRI bot setup actually already hit stop to scratch. Like if on like a 4 hour chart, you could argue that that setup is active. I mean, there's kind of like a nice W here, another low that held and then took off, and actually we're sitting just right below the scratch level now. So if you were to have entered that trade, you're just kind of trying to stay in it without getting stopped out of scratch. So and like you know this chart's a little messy. I could probably clean it up a bit, but I'll just say, unlike the stock market, these moving averages are cross bullish, and we're finding support against the 13 EMA. It's quite a difference a week makes. Last week it was kind of like, oh, geez, this looks like it wants to come back and test the bottom of the range. Maybe these candle body lows would have been a nice place to be hunting longs if we would have dipped down there. But it just seemed to turn itself around, and it's pushing higher, and very different than the stock market in the sense there's a now RSI divergence is confirmed. The bull div is in. OBV is sort of V bottomy, kind of head and shoulders y looking, but it's pointing higher, and it's got some W's in there. So the daily chart looks pretty good. The only issue is we're kind of getting up into resistance here. Like we're back at the trend line that we just seem to I feel like every Sunday I do the show and it's always right at the trend line. But the trend line's pointing higher, so we're moving kind of higher. But that's resistance there, right at this trend line, I would say. Also, the 200 is resistance, which is like this candle body high is kind of interesting short location. If you're a range trader and you're thinking we have a range established here at 28,000 down to the bottom of the range at 24, 25, then of course that level becomes kind of a good short level up against the 200 here. So it's kind of a battle between the trend traders. The bot would be like a trend continuation trader looking for new highs to get outside of this range, and the range traders are going to be stepping into short. So the battle will be here, like the 28,000 sort of at level, which is like, if you draw fibs from there, you'll see like 78.6 and 88.6 is up there. So I suppose that's where the fight's probably at. Like resistance is probably somewhere about 27.7. If we can get above that and actually start building above that, then maybe we can get back up into like the real short reload zone of the whole range. It's too early to say, but it looks like that ABCD is in place. So the exact opposite of the stock market. That's sort of the takeaway. And you could kind of see it in altcoins too. Like I think I was saying that earlier, a lot of daily W's coming in right now. Maybe we'll cover those a little bit, but and then I'll move on to Ethereum and just say, damn, there's a big old W in Ethereum. So can't remember if it was this show or on the streams I was doing during the week, but I kind of was highlighting this sort of triangular consolidation in both RSI and price. And now it looks like we've busted through there and we actually have this wide W. So Ethereum was looking pretty ugly. And of course, I was talking about this level down here at 1500 getting hit, and I guess they're just front running that. They didn't want to take the ABCD level or the trend line here. And of course, this could be a fake out. So this would be the if this is a fake out, they're gonna suck everybody in long and then still hit those levels. But nonetheless, is a W. Not really great location. I suppose you could start thinking about bots like that Bitcoin trade, but not yet. We only have two decent lows. We have one W here. Maybe a pullback and then something to get you into that trade would be on the table, but I think it's a little early for that still. And Ethereum has looked kind of heavier to me in general. I'm not that excited to go long. However, you could see that triangle breakout kind of through the 50 line. We put in a big W in RSI and it just broke out. And then also OBV has W's now and it's breaking out. And technically OBV, well, no, it's not in divergence, but have a W there. So it looks pretty good. I mean, crypto's hanging in there. At bare minimum, I would just say with the dollar ripping up and the stock market rolling over, Bitcoin looks pretty, or crypto looks pretty decent in that way. We'll just have to see what happens. See if this October shit has any weight behind it. Of course, the more people that say October, the less likely it'll happen. So yeah, Ethereum's kind of different picture than a week ago. I gotta say, it looks a lot better than it did last week. So that's good. That's about really all I have to say as far as these markets go. Just, I mean, the kind of the interesting thing really would just be that the dollar and crypto are basically pushing higher together at the moment. and crypto is hung in at support, whereas the stock market's looking much more emmy. I mean, I didn't really talk about the M's and the SPY a little bit, but also the Nasdaq. I mean, the big old M with another M on the side, and that's not a great sign for the stock market. And of course, the stock market, if you zoom out, of course, we have a lot more room to come down if it really does start breaking. So yeah, it doesn't look great, and really, like I've said a lot lately. I think if you're trying to be an investor, I think your attention should probably be on crypto more than the stocks right now. That's my opinion. But if you're doing both, like this is me personally, I'm leaning more towards working on my altcoin plan than I don't really see like a huge reason to go lumping into stock investments. I'm kind of hunting a few things. I kind of like those mushroom stocks right now, and we had a meeting about stocks last week and we found a couple old favorites that look okay, but it's just sort of like not really that exciting. So I guess that's about all I have to say about that. If you want to jump on, Paul, and maybe start getting into our actual names that we're going to cover today, and then that'll leave us some time to do our giveaway and maybe I have a few requests and we could talk about.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, why not? Just move the screen on my side, and we can do that.
Yeah, let's
We
see.
can look at some altcoins. 5 altcoins for today.
Yeah, so you're all set.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we have on the plan. I don't think is the case, but I'll show you the plan. Short and complete plan in my view. Read the fine print here. We are not financial advisors, so it's 100% up to you what you do with your own money. But me, Kevin, and another guys, a couple of guys from this community, we are respecting this plan. We decided to follow this plan, and we think it's a good one. Let's start with what we have here. So we have 25, 26 to 30. This is the area where we left. We did that last time. Now we have QNT. So let's see what we have on QNT. And you can see on the chart, on weekly chart, we don't have a weekly W, but neither a fill. So we are still waiting below this initial W in 2022. It's keeping the level. It's in the long reload zone. Okay, yeah, but we don't have a fill yet. I'm pretty confident that until the end of the year we'll get a fill, maybe even lower, but at least a fill on this one. So $66.70, it's our level. Unchanged from last time, just lost that support. You can see this is a support and resistance at big fat round number $100. We are below that level now. This will behave like a real resistance if the market will try to push higher. You can see was a strong support and now will be a strong resistance. I think it's okay to keep our limit order here. If you are a cheap ass and you don't want to put it here, maybe you think the market will go even lower, you can change and put it at the all-time low here. I'll let 0.5 here, and I don't know. I have time to think about if I'll put another 0.5 at $40 or I'll wait for a weekly double. For the moment, on this one, nothing to do. Just be damn sure that you have your limit order here. Okay, next one. So ICP, the best project, the ugliest price action. Some people say it's a really good project, but the price action says that is not. We'll see. Let's put it on auto. Okay. You can see by yourself, we had a fill here at $4.5. We should have our sell half on a double in the market, but no weekly W. The price is going down and broke the lows. For the moment, nothing to do on this one. Put your short limit order in the market because we don't know how fast will go up or down. It could do a really nice wick to the upside, take $9 level and then back down. So you should definitely have your limit order there. We bought 0.5 to buy another 0.5. I'm not okay with, not even with $3.3 or this price action. We need that weekly double. When I'll see that wide and weekly W, okay, we can think about. For the moment, it's barely starting to go sideways. So no, I'm okay with waiting on this one. Could go from $3 to 30 cents, from 30 cents to 3 cents, and so on. If you look at CoinMarketCap, you'll see unlimited coins possible in the market. Same kind of thinking like on Ethereum, but Ethereum at least has a use case. It's a different story. For the moment, I'm waiting for that wide and big weekly double. Next one, it's Phantom. Let's see this one. This one should be more interesting. Yeah, you can see we had, when I said about this one here, a lot of people saying, oh, we'll never come back to this level. I was saying something in here at 60 cents or something like that. You can watch on the spreadsheet, you'll see the last print we did on this chart. You can see we got a fill, a bounce, but a weak bounce, just a dead cat bounce from this W breakout, and now we're testing the support. We can go lower, definitely. We could even test this level, 5 cents, and get, I don't know, 80% lower than that in the market price. Yeah, definitely. I don't see that weekly W. What I can see here, I see a wide range trying to form, but an ugly wick to get me a fill at this level, it's always possible. An ugly wick to get me a fill at 15 cents, it's probable even. But if I want to buy something, I don't know if you can put I don't think you can put a limit order here at 5 cents, but put an alarm. Yeah, I'm okay with buying this one at this level. So let's do something for today. Let's put a limit order here, or at least an alarm. I'll put an alarm at this level. If you are really lucky, maybe you can get a fill here. If you'll get a fill here, you can look at the all-time highs and you can tell me how much profit you can make from 5 cents to $3.5. If will be the case too. But even from 5 cents to, I don't know, $2.5, I think it's a good risk to reward. So I hope I don't forget to post this chart on the spreadsheet. Let's buy some Phantom at 5 cents if the market will give us an opportunity. We don't know what FUD will happen next, what founder will give up on crypto and so on. You know, a lot of stories. So let's put a limit order, or at least an alarm at this level. In the same time, you should have yourself half on a double at the short level. We don't know when and how the market will behave. If look at this candle, you can see candle here. This candle did more than a double in 1 week. Yeah, 34, 80, 87. So more than a double. Anything could happen in the right environment. We should have and check week by week to have the short levels in the market. I know it's boring. I'm keep telling you that, but I hope everyone will listen and we'll make some money. Okay. So 0057, it's a good level. I don't know if we'll get a field here. The next opportunity will be if I will see above this level, I'll see a weekly W, a big one. Okay, and then I'll break out, retest. I could change my mind, remove this order, and buy at higher levels. Next one on our plan, it's flow. Yeah, you can see on flow for the moment. Let's see what we have on flow. So, come on. We had a limit order here, and you can see the market, it's below, a lot lower. Yeah, we bought the local top in this case. I was thinking, yeah, saw some signs that maybe at that point in time, some potential W's on OBV. That was the reason. You can see bullish divergence on RSI, bullish divergence on OBV, weekly W here, and we bought that level, and you can see what's the top. Nothing to do. It's just a 0.5. I'm okay with that level. I'll buy lower. If I will see that weekly W, you can see I don't see a weekly W yet. No, nothing. We can range, and probably it's best to range a couple of months, maybe half a year of a price action going sideways, everyone giving up on this project, big weekly W, nobody trusts that price action, nobody buys from the public, I mean, and the market is going up, and then the public gets some interest. If I'll see a weekly W, I'll buy. If not, I'm okay with waiting. In the same time, sell half on a double at $2.6 is not a bad idea. I don't know if you didn't put that when you had the feel on this one. I don't think you can put a limit order so high now, but you can put an alarm. Okay, let's see the next one. So after flow, we have US dinosaur coin. It's old. It's from 2017, but I don't know if it has any chances on the next bull market, but it's really cheap. You can see, yeah, it's the all-time lows. We had $15 max, at least on Binance, and now we are at 59.60 cents. We had a limit order field here, weekly W, clearly. No sell half on a double, unfortunately, and now it's going down. I'll buy when I'll see that wide and big weekly W. I'll buy another 0.5 because I don't know. They should have a lot of money, and if they decide to do something and not only to spend the money, paying the salaries and the bonuses, yeah, I think we can get something from US. For the moment, I don't see anything on their project. No. Seems like they are living a good life with the money, paying big salaries, and if they still have money. But I don't see any evolution from this project. Not for the moment. Maybe, I don't know. It's 1%. I'll definitely, in the next bull market, I'll definitely get a sell half on a double. That's for sure. We'll go back to $2. Yeah? So I'll be risk free anyway. I don't want to make more hopes about this project. Yeah, if they'll decide to do something, you'll see they had a big community, they had a lot of support, and the support could come back. A lot of people, they are still paying attention from time to time on US. Even big influencers, maybe they have some bags, I don't know, but they are still paying attention on this project. Okay, nothing to do on this one. Let's wait for that weekly W. And I think this is the last one. Let us see if we have anything else. No? Next week we'll start with Mana. Anyway, about Mana and project, same kind of projects. I saw some hype last week, and maybe it's a start. And how they say it, Kevin? What's the term for a project like Mana?
Metaverse?
Yeah, I keep forgetting that that word. So I saw some hype in Metaverse. It's not only about Mana. There are many projects trying to do something with games and Metaverse. I saw Zuckerberg trying to start a trend again. The price, it's okay-ish. It's not some projects, they are really cheap. So watch out. Why wait for the weekly W or wait for the daily W, but pay attention because they could jump around. I'm not saying they'll go in the bull market, but they'll have a nice bounce. Last time they did a really nice move. So who knows? Okay, that's we decided to take 5 projects, 5 coins every week. So we'll take longer to do an overview because with 10 projects in 2 months, I don't know. We'll decide. We'll talk with Kevin. Maybe it's not such a good idea to only discuss 5 coins. Maybe you should go back on 10. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next week we'll do 10. Before we'll do the requests, I think it's a good idea to ask Kevin to do the giveaway. Still, the any no site is working, no retweeter. We have to do it manually. So wish good luck to the guys who did the retweet. I see DMAC is feeling extra lucky today. Maybe we don't know. We'll see.
Wait, I don't even see DMAC in here. What's your...
Yeah, he posted in the chat. If you look at
No, I
if you
mean
look at
in
the
my
chat,
I'm looking at the wheel here that I made. Did you retweet the tweet, DMAC?
I don't know. He has a different name. Let's see.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm about to hit spin.
let's see.
Here I have 12 people in here that retweeted last
Well, let's check. I'll check it manually. Just 1 second until we'll hit the button. Let's see if we have it's an error from our part. So episode 38, 15. I see 15 of them.
Well, you were one.
Yeah. I know. So 14 of them, and then
I only have 12. So maybe I missed somebody.
Know. Maybe, I don't know. Post engagements. Let me see. Reposts. Let's see if I have well, I don't see his name. So we have Kita, Kenny, Bogdan, Siluz, Alexandru, Florin, Lilith, Razvan, Cristian, David, Mercurio, XCOM, and Paul J. Paul J is not participating.
Wait, Mercurio's not in here. What did I do? Did I use the wrong one? It's episode 38 that we were supposed to be grabbing them from, right?
Yeah. Mercurio, Florian. No, it's Flore Adrian 2. You should have it, I guess.
Wait, who? Oh, Floria Adrian 2. That one's in there. That's Mercurio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
oh.
Okay. So seems like
see, when we had it automated, it was way better. Now we're doing it manually, so it's
yeah. Unfortunately, DMAC is feeling extra lucky, but he didn't retweet. DMAC. So let's see.
All right. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mercurio. That's why you need a Batman Twitter account. All right, well, here we go. I'm going to click this thing to spin it. Ready?
Yep, we're ready. Let's see. Which one is the lucky one?
Twee. All right, well, Twee 314667791.
Yeah, really nice. Okay, we'll see who that one is because we don't want to do the same thing with Mercurio to know his Batman name.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it was my fault. Okay, so congratulations to Twee 314666 DM me or DM us on Discord to give you the access on premium membership and to the Holy Grail indicator. So we have any requests?
Yeah, we have a couple. Before that, I just want to make sure everybody knows about this sandwich.finance website because somebody had asked me about a way to make trading view lists earlier, and I can't remember if I've actually used this one. I was using a different one that now seems offline, but this sandwich.finance is a pretty cool tool to build trading view lists if you want to just make a list for any of these exchanges or whatever. So check that out if you've never seen it. Kind of a cool tool, help you build a list for your trading view account. So I just
You
wanted to
can even
mention that.
post, you can even post the link on this chat because, but with from Traders Arena account, because we are the only one
Yeah.
allowed to post links.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
sent through that in there. So yeah, if you guys, somebody had asked me a good way to do this, so you can build a. The only issue with this is like Kraken. I hate this because for me personally, like if you use this list, it'll give you all the Kraken's names, but then you got to go through and manually remove the ones that aren't available in the U.S. But otherwise, it's still an awesome tool. I mean, that's the case with the other one I was using too. They don't have like just the Kraken U.S. markets, but because Coinbase doesn't have that issue. I don't think they don't have markets outside of the U.S. dollar market or the USA available markets, I should say. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. So if anybody is interested in building lists, this is a good way to do it. And then request. You want me to do the requests, or do you feel like doing them?
you can do the request if you want, but I have an announcement. This month, we decided that we should, I don't know, not a giveaway, but to cut the prices on VIP in half. So if someone is interested in VIP, the prices they are half of what they used to be usually. If you are interested in VIP, I think October could be a good month, and it's a good price for you to see, at least if you are curious to see how it's on our VIP part. We are live streaming every day. We are posting trades every day. You can even see the reviews if you are curious to see how the other people saw the VIP. So check that out in Discord. We'll post again pretty soon. We'll post a permanent link on our website when we'll be ready. So we'll have the group public again. Problems again, but I think is the best option we have for the moment.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll just kick you out if you're a scammer. Do we lose you, Paul, or are you
Well,
just done? Oh, you're still there.
yeah, I'm still here.
Well, we'll jump into some names really quick. This David.
I want to say another thing. I don't know. Maybe yeah, we have some Romanians here. We have a motherfucker. Let's call it that way. Who is trying to sell our micro program for Romanian guys? Guys, I'll give that program for the premium membership pretty soon. Don't give him $50 or $100. It's not his work. He's inconsistent, and I don't like behavior like that. I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to buy it from him and not use it like you should use it from our Discord community. Yeah, because if you'll get it from us, you'll get support. If you'll get it from him, you'll not get any support. Nobody will ask you any question. Yeah, it's an ugly character. Usually, sometimes we have people like that, but it's an ugly thing to say it in a live stream. But I just find out that he is selling the micro program with $50 or $100.
Yeah, and he copied the documents. So
yeah. So it's up to you, but just an ugly view of this one. Yeah.
yeah, well.
Okay, let's get to the better and nicer things in this live stream.
That's actually
Sorry,
a
Kevin.
nice. This is actually a nice looking chart. The first one I pulled up, this ATA, looks like a weekly W. Actually, if I'm seeing this correctly, so that's promising. I mean, it's got one of those weird W's with the long tail here, which kind of creates like a wider risk window. But it's also kind of power 3-ish. So this is well, thanks David, first of all, for sending me names. David is often sending me names for these shows. I appreciate it. This one's a pretty decent looking chart. Of course, right away I see the OBV div on this weekly chart here, which isn't truly confirmed yet. Of course, we got to take out the highs here to confirm that div. So it's still potential. Looks like it's trying right now. Maybe it can do it by the end of today if they can pop price up here. Otherwise, it'll be another week before they can confirm it. But also, there's also, just hopefully you could just see that OBV. That's the kind of OBV I like to see for sure. And you could argue that the divs came in back here too on this move, which produced that sort of up rally and confirmed that div. But nice looking chart down against the old lows here. Not quite, but that's 41 cents and prices at 85. So there, to be fair, there still is 50% downside here to the old low, the original open on Binance, that is. But damn, looks good for sure. Kind of looks power 3-ish too if we call these equal lows here, and then we're starting to get back inside that range. So it looks very promising. I like this one. I don't know if I can actually trade this. Is it? That's on Coinbase. Cool. Automata. These names are always, however you say that. Damn, I like this one. I will add just lastly that the LJ is not really in, or the trend line setup is a little early. So if you were to just use the recent range here and draw a trend line off the M, you can see we're pretty early, which I think is kind of the case of altcoins in general. So that makes sense to me. We might have to come up and get into resistance there, come back down. But could you bang a double? No, you can't quite bang a double there. Double levels would be up here, but you could probably get a double off into short reload zones. If you were buying this breakout level where price is sitting right there. Really, I'm pretty down to go buy it. I'm not in a huge rush. We could let this close this week and then hunt pullbacks, or you could hit it right here at 8.5 cents and get a double at 17, which is basically Mountain Man here, 61.8 fib. Or no, sorry. It's more like the sweet spot in the middle of the reload zone would be a double. So looks pretty good. I'll give it that. I like it. I have no idea what it is. And I also don't even care. But that, I always talk about my setup here. There's even a W here, which is technically a little divergence. As a matter of fact, if you just kind of zoom in a little bit and see the W that came in here on the move to a new low, and that's sort of like a capitulation kind of looking dump to me. And then we got confirmed little divergence right there. So, location is good down against the old lows. Pretty close. OBV divs are coming in and the W is in. So, the only thing is this sort of tail lumen here kind of tells me that there's a good chance we're going to go down and eat that. So I guess you're just taking a bet here if that's going to hold. But it seems reasonable to get a double up here. I think I'll probably go buy this one. That's nice. Moving on. See, he said KDA. Maybe we look at that US dollar on Binance. This one, not as nice, in my opinion. Let's see. He was saying W on OBV. Oh, he's looking at the daily here, it looks like. Our weekly KDA line chart. Maybe there's a little W in there. Let's see. He's saying line chart. Yeah, it's starting a W. OBV's trying to turn, but kind of not fully turned yet. Definitely not in divergence. So this one's okay, but I like that other one better for sure. Seems farther along into the bottom. This is still sort of grinding down. We could easily just keep making lower lows. That's that kind of a weekly W that was trying to come in. It hasn't lost those lows. So maybe, I would say probably waiting for a break of like, maybe this high here just to change the direction, just to create a different market state here. If they can take out that 61 cents and then pull back into reload zones after that move, that'll probably set up a nice solid W in OBV here. So it looks pretty good. It's just, this is kind of like the ones that Paul just looked at. A lot of them kind of look like this, where they're not, I really prefer that ATA. That one looks a lot better to me, but it's okay. I'll look at the daily chart too, just because he did mention there might be OBV divergence here or something. Yeah, so like on the daily, um, I mean, I see this is the state of. I've seen a lot of these daily W's that look a lot like this. So if October is some sort of real thing, I mean, this might be a fake out, might not. There might be some trade setting up here. I mean, one, I really like the level that this was a really nice level here coming down into 78.6. Look how they just tagged 78.6 right on the money there. It's a classic right against the old W. Seems pretty good. But what I was getting at is that I've seen a lot of these kind of W's here. Like I could point out several of these that are currently coming in on crypto. I like some of the other ones better, to be honest. But this one, you know, the W's there. So if you're trying to trade this thing, I could see the potential of getting back up against the highs of the range here. So as far as divergences go, I don't know. I'm not seeing OBV divergence here. I would like to have seen it there. Now, to be fair, there is one from back here. You know, this big wide divergence came in. So, you know, that does sort of mark the base. That's kind of that weekly chart kind of scenario, though more than daily, I would say this divergence here, but it is there. And we're in a reload zone. So, I mean, you could argue that, you know, you have a setup here. I don't love OBV here. Maybe we like look at RSI really quick just for fun. Do have that over here. So on the RSI, we also, we do have divergence actually, you know, on the move to there. I'd really like to see divergence right there of some sort, but we at least we're Wing out here through the 50 line, or at least trying to get through the 50 line. So I don't know. Maybe you can argue there's a swing trade, position trade long setting up on that W. It's okay. But as I said on the weekly chart, just kind of looks a little early. And what else is there in here? Oh, he was asking me specifically, would I be interested if the W confirms on the line chart on the, I think you're talking a weekly chart. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait. Like I was kind of saying, I think it's too early. So I would be, you know, I would be interested if they can actually make a real W here. I'm not really interested in that line chart W so much, just because OBV hasn't turned yet. Let's like let this W come in OBV. So we're gonna have to push up a little bit, and then I suppose like, you know, the weekly W levels up at 57 cents, but I mean, you could use that candle body level if that's sort of your kind of MO. That would be like a line chart W there. So I mean, I am interested. I would say, but it's just too early for me. Much prefer that ATA. I'd rather take a shot on something like that. And then YGG he mentioned too. Just I do know that's in reloadable locations. So this was one that, you know, we had talked about this W last time, which produced a nice move. And now, if you were long this, I could see reload. You know, it's funny how they checked. A great example. They didn't quite tag it, but that's a great example of you know, just bringing it right back down to the previous market structure W, and then bouncing it. It's a little chasey right here. I mean, sure, it's probably in reload zones, definitely below 80. It's probably like 88 and 6 even and below, but I still kind of feel like you're, well, 88.6 is at 21.5. I'd kind of probably look at 21 cents as sort of my level at this point. I mean, this is very V bottom looking here, and just, you know, OBV is still pointing down and actually made an M recently. It's making lower lows. So a little early, but at the same time, if you already banged a nice trade out on this move, I can see reloading here. This one's funny because I gave everybody plenty of notice to buy this thing, but of course, guess who didn't buy it? Me, but that's just because I can't really. It's not on Coinbase or Kraken. But anyway, that one looks okay. I mean, that one looks reloadable. If you're not long this already, I'd probably just wait for a real W to come in. But if you are just buying back your whatever you sold up here, then I could see just, you know, nibbling in or dollar cost averaging your way back in. Seems normal. I think this one's in gaming and stuff. It seems like a good one going forward. I don't know. And one more from him, Dar, which is one that I actually don't really hear about. Mines of Delarnia. That sounds like a nerd game. Which I like the idea of, like, game related crypto for sure. That's a nice potential W coming in. Nice tighter, a little bit tighter risk window than that ATA, but still kind of have that tail, which that was the same week probably. It seemed there's probably a lot of those kind of tails showing up in This is almost the same chart as that ATA. You know, you have the old original opening low here, which is quite a ways down actually from price where it is right now. I mean, price is in about 10 cents here, and that low is at 2.5 cents, basically 2.026. So lots of downside risk still, even though this chart looks like great location for sure. But you know, there still is a lot of room for this thing to just kind of grind lower. It's the trend is still down. You know, like lower highs and lower lows. We recently made a lower low, and now we're just kind of threatening to weekly W, which is great. But it's even that, like, this is, you know, this little W is a W, and sure, like, I don't see a problem in buying it per se, but we really want to see wide W's to really mark the bottom. So it's still a little early, but it is technically, you know, that's a W, and OBV itself is not in divergence, so that sort of keeps me out of this for now. We are getting a W, so if we can just sort of stay up this week, head the rest, you know, into the rest of the day, and actually make that W in OBV, which I'm having a hard time dragging up so you can see for whatever reason. I hate OBV. Like, for as much as I like OBV, I hate managing OBV on the chart. It's a pain in the ass. That W is trying to come in. So yeah, really for me, I'd have to wait for a close high enough to make that W, which would also give me the weekly W, and then I could go hunting. This is one that I don't know if I have access to. Let's see. Yeah, Coinbase. Surprisingly, I mean, last time I checked, you know, like between, it was like of all the names on KuCoin that I had, I can't remember the exact number, but a surprisingly large number of them were actually available to me still after I had to move off Coinbase. There were some, like YGG, for example, that was not. But Coinbase has a lot of shit on it actually these days. Of course, their fees are like way higher, and you know, whatever. But nonetheless, I like this one. It's just trying to W. So nice names, David. Those both look pretty good. I like this one and that ATA better than that other one, KDA. And I guess I missed one, Voxel. This is an old school one, Voxel. I don't even know if is that still Vox or yeah. Also on Coinbase. Guess we've looked at this one recently. If I've got it up here on some lines on the chart, but that looks good to me. Still a little early. Like, I'll probably say that about all these. We're a little early, I think. And remember, I am still looking for that slide into the end of the year. I have to keep repeating myself there, but I do think that there's going to be heaviness. You know, in general, there's a likelihood that it'll be heavy into the end of the year. So I don't feel like, I'm not feeling any FOMO here. I'm not trying to rush into any of this stuff. I do want to be taking some nibbles, like something like this. Definitely keep it on my radar. It looks pretty good. You know, I see the, you know, definitely have OBV divergence potentially on the lows here. Didn't actually confirm. You got to take out the highs there to truly confirm that. Didn't get OBV divergence on this low to low, which I would really like to see right there. So that's kind of a warning sign that it's not quite ready. But nonetheless, I mean, OBV is pointing higher in general. It is kind of like making a lower high here, so it could turn into an M if this thing craps out, but that's not yet. And it's trying to weekly W there, so that's cool. But it really needs to take out that like 14.6 cents high to make that W. Just another example of, I mean, remember, like, what would be really cool is like a wider W example would be, you know, this is what requires so much patience is like, can you wait for, where's my drawing tools here? Like, can you wait for this W to come in like that? And then by the pullback of that, that's what I would consider being patient. You know, just wait and let it. Now, sure, it might take off and you might feel like you missed it, but that's sort of this is my bread and butter right here, I'd say. And this is the, actually, we were kind of, remember, David, we were talking about like those shorts on the stock market and stuff on Friday. This is that exact same thing. It just hasn't happened yet. You know, usually, like one of the classic pro setups, like just like is like this sort of, some people call it a market structure shift, or like that's the ICT guy, or, but point being is like, you know, we're trending down through here. We start setting a base, but there's no real change in market state right now. You know, we're bumping along this bottom and we're trying to carve out a range here, but you really have to argue we're still making lower highs and kind of not really like a lower low just yet, but this was a lower low. And so what we really need is some sort of W to change the state. That's essentially what's happening with the W, right? We're going to break that out and actually make a new high, take out the old high here and actually, have a market structure shift or whatever. So like lots of different ways of naming this setup or trading the setup specifically. But the point being is you wait for the shift to come in, which usually is a W. It breaks out, often is a W. And at that point, we've actually changed, we've sort of broken this downtrend. And so then you wait for that change to come in, and then you just buy, whether it's a reload zone or 786, 61.8, whatever your plan is. The point is you're just trying to buy the pullback after the change in market state. And that's what I see as what I would like to wait for here. So, but that would be a nice base because we are making this sort of base here. And if by the time we get over here, that'll be a nice wide W that's in and buying the pullback. So let's see what's in the chat. Oh, there's David. Hey. Have you ever witnessed a time in the market with all these shitcoins having a 3-step setup, at least on the daily, and all of them failing? Yeah. Well, like, I've said a lot, the first weekly W is often trap, it seems like. So we're like this, like something like this. We don't have a weekly W back here. If we make this W, it might be a trap for sure. I mean, I could probably find examples of that pretty easily. And also remember, crypto all moves together. So if there's like if you see like a bunch of 3-step setups, for example, in the market, and if one fails, probably most of them are going to fail. That's the kind of reality of this sort of idea that crypto is not really diversified. You go and put on 5 3-step setups in altcoins, you're essentially just putting on one trade, in a lot of ways. So you have to be careful with your exposure for sure. And like Paul was saying earlier, like the chances of this October W, these daily W's coming in being fake outs, probably relatively high. So I don't know. Like what would be an example of a daily W that I've been hunting a little bit here? I think Aave maybe. No, that one's not in yet. Although it kind of is. What's what was the one I was talking about in the room the other day? C98 or something like that. It goes C98. Go to a daily. Oh, I was looking at the weekly chart. Aave probably was a W actually on the daily, but we'll use this one for fun. So clearly there's a weekly W that's now broken out. This is that same idea. Like now we have some sort of market structure shift here. Could you buy a pullback here? Sure, like OBV's at least kind of pointing higher with W's here. It's not really in divergence per se, but we've been setting this nice base. The point is like, what are the chances of this W failing? I can't say for sure, but if this is a fake out, like this sort of October fake out, then yeah, they could easily see these failing. I mean, remember, I'm still saying lower prices into the end of the year. So you have to sort of weigh. Well, one, you have to trade your setup. If your setup comes in, you got to take a shot. That's just sort of how it goes. But 2, hopefully your target that you're choosing is a reasonable target. And 3, if they fail, they're probably all going to fail. Like, if there's a bunch of W's coming in like this across the board, most of them are, if one fails, most of them will probably fail. There might be a couple that don't. And so I don't know. Is like, are you expecting a double here? Like if you bought 15 cents here and a double's way up to 30, that's not really my thinking right now. Like, could happen on some of these, but more likely I would think, like in something like this, maybe they take it up against this high here and then roll it back over. And we just have really carved out a range. That's kind of what I would think October would be like. More if we do rally at all, it'll just be up into the top of the current range and then back down. That's kind of, so I don't know if I'm really looking to get doubles on all these if I bought any of these W's here. Which, and again, remember my double selling strategy waits for weekly W's anyway, so I'm not thinking at all. I mean, this thing, if it's, this ironically does have sort of a weekly W, so I could step in here. You could see like the OBV divergence is in. So my setup's in actually right here. But in general, if there's not a weekly W, then I'm not thinking selling doubles anyway. But this, and actually on the weekly level, I could easily see this thing, if like that, those daily W's fail, then yeah, this thing probably won't produce a double. W doubles. I'm really confusing myself now. I I'm not. I don't really think all of these are going to double right here. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying I have no idea. I can't say that I'm right. I just, I am a little suspect of those daily W's failing, like Paul was saying earlier. So we'll just see what happens. And in general, if I'm nibbling here, I'm trying to protect myself to take a lower, like just like the other ones I said here. Like if we lose these lows, that's 12 cents, and this kilo way back here is 7 cents. So again, there's 50% of downside risk in a lot of these. That was like the other ones I was looking at too. So um, caffeine is one hell of a drug. Yeah. So anyway, kind of so that's kind of so to answer your question, that was a long way of answering your question. I mean, they could easily fail. I've seen it happen plenty of times, and I definitely have watched like weekly W's. The first one, it's kind of like the first one fails and then you wait for the next one, especially in stocks. I swear that happens in like small cap stock market constantly. It's like the first weekly W is a fake out, and then they dip it down and make another one later that is actually in better location, which like in this case would be, they break this thing out a little bit, take it back down, and the real W actually comes in against the old low, like, way down there. So definitely that's why we try to not pile into these too early, right? And waste all our capital too early.
Yeah, that's the level. Usually, you see the level they listed this one on Binance. It's pretty important level.
Yeah. So
A lot of them they have the same behavior. They form a W just above that level. Mine and our experience and my experience, I think is not a good idea. Okay, if you are investing, yeah, but I don't know, extra careful there because that's a dangerous level. That's like a magnet. That's the price when that coin enter the Binance chart, enter on Binance. So
yeah.
I think it's pretty important to be retested, no? And it's close now. It's pretty close to that level.
Yeah, and 50% is an interesting number. I could easily see it coming down 50%. So I think
Yeah.
like if you're trying to take advantage of these October trades, like sure, maybe you try to. This isn't the best example because I don't really like this price action. But let's just say you drew reload zones here and you're trying to long this thing, maybe at Mountain Man. Just keep in mind, like I would be more interested in just like a reasonable target. Like we often talk about this sort of Mountain Man setup, which we use the 78.6 as a stop. And so if you're trading something like that, yeah, okay, you could, a 3-to-1 is going to be just a bounce inside of this range, for example. So if you're lucky enough to get a fill at Mountain Man here, then I could see trades like that is all I'm getting at. It's just these kind of tight windows as opposed to selling on doubles, Of course, if that trade fails, you walk away and then it goes lower and you don't care. You just had a losing trade, big deal. So
Yeah.
it's I think that's a smart way. I mean, if you're going to be in there trading like this month, that seems okay. The crypto does look a little bit, I mean, there is a lot of green here. These are all green today. There's a lot of daily W's. There's probably a lot of trades on lower time frames. Or like the sand was one like this is another example of there's the W there and it's just sitting there. Like, I mean, you could justify buying that W and looking for a move, up into the 39 cents, up into that level maybe. That gives you like a almost 30% window to make some money. So I definitely could see that,
The trap with this kind of thinking with the October and all the W's seems like someone put that levels there. And the problem is a lot of people, they will see a chart, they will see a W, okay, a nice setup, but they all forget about total risk per portfolio. So not too many setups in the same time. If you have 3 or 4 of them and you reach your total risk, open risk in the market, don't add more because actually you have only one big trade. If Bitcoin will drop, everything will go down. So I know, could be a nice month. We are watching that, but a lot of people they'll forget about total risk per portfolio. If you are trading, you should watch that level. That how much open risk you have in the market. And especially thinking that everything it's in the same direction. If Bitcoin will drop or something ugly will happen, you don't have 5 trades or 10 trades. You have one big trade with a lot of risk open in the market.
It's really important.
Just like you said.
I mean, that's so important. Just the idea that we're not diversified. If we go buy 100 different altcoins, just always remember that. You're
On
basically
VIP, on VIP, we are constantly monitoring that. I'm seeing some setups, some trades on swing trading, for example. I'm not posting. Why? I already have enough open risk in the market. I don't want to have, I don't know, 10 or 15%, and any news could destroy my account, take me 20%. So
yeah.
you have to constantly think about that. Make a checklist if you are swing trading, and every day when you're looking at the chart, check that list and see. Okay, how much open risk I have in the market? Okay, I have 4%. What is the max? 6. I could look for setups. If you reach your max number, don't add any other setup. If you have 5 longs and you hunt for short ideas, okay, you can balance something. But if it's a violent move, could stop you out anyway.
That's
So watch,
damn good point.
extra careful about that aspect. I saw that mistake a lot in our community. Not more than other communities, but I saw a lot of people thinking that they have more setups. No, you have one big setup.
Yep. Very true. Very true.
Sorry about the rant.
No, that's perfect. I mean,
But
that's such an important point, though. That's like that goes for like like your long term sort of like our road to financial freedom plan has to consider that. But that's why we've used a lower, uh, you know, small risk in general. Like we're basically just taking the whole amount of that portfolio and risking it. We're not worried, so we're not faking ourselves out into thinking we're diversified. There, that applies there, but it also very much applies to trade and setups. Because if you have, if you had 10 of those, like you're asking, David, if you have 10 of these 3-step setups in the market right now, then if you're doing 1% per trade, then that means you have 10% portfolio risk in the market on one setup. Basically, you could argue that's one trade
yeah,
at 10%. So a very
and
important point. This is a good thing to talk about. Actually, it's super important because crypto is
watch out.
highly correlated. Highly correlated.
You'll try some different things. You'll try to put 1 hour, 4 hour on daily chart. But when you're open a position in different time frames, look at the percentage from your entry to your stop loss. If it's similar on different time frames, you still have one big position.
Yeah.
If it's pretty close, some people say, okay, I have two longs on 1 hour, 2 longs on 4 hours, and I have 2 longs on daily. Okay, but what is the percentage? What is the distance between your entry and your stop loss? Well, it's approximately 2% on almost everything. You have still one big position. But it's a different thing. This is for investment part, not for trading. So was just I don't know, a warning.
This is a super good point. We have a couple more that we can look at really quick. This one is the next one, 4. And yeah, damn nice looking chart in my opinion.
Yep,
This one's got, well, one, unlike all the other ones we'd looked at, it seems like earlier had all been making a new low. This one actually has carved out a range now with some W's working in the past. Even that's technically some sort of W bottom, and it's holding the kilo here. So right away we can draw a reload zone, at least, even if you could either take it from there, you could even go all the way back. Oh yeah, something like that.
It's even going to do a Davos setup on weekly chart, so it's pretty nice. Yeah. I see W on RSI, I see W on OBV, I see W even on Wheelie. Seems like you need to confirm the W price action, yeah, and you can hunt at that level.
Yeah,
and the window of risk is really nice and small. You don't need, I don't know, 1 or 2% to risk, more than 1% to risk on this trade. If you are trading, if you are investing, you know the drill.
Yeah, this one looks good though. I mean, it has the OBV divergence that actually confirmed over here. Still kind of in divergence also, or Wing, kind of trying at least through there too. In a reload zone. I think waiting for that W to break out and seeing actual confirmation is smart. It's leaving a little bit of a trend line break here. You just kind of
10-11% from the entry to the stop loss. Pretty okay window of risk.
Yeah, so I like that one.
Yeah. Thank you, Mercurio. Nice idea.
I mean, I'm sure if you go look at like RSIs and stuff, you probably see those similar divergences. And also, you probably see the daily W that we've been talking about too. If you just kind of, yeah, it hasn't actually. I mean, there were kind of like W's in here a little bit. So maybe like if you're trying to trade this thing, I could see looking for a little bit of a pullback and trying to get in. But yeah, it looks good. I think we have one more, which is ETC,
Ethereum Classic.
which is cool. We were just talking about this one the other day too, and another daily W. So I'll zoom out to the weekly, but just real quick, that's that same. I mean, you can see it talking about correlation of altcoins again. They're all kind of looking the same, right? They basically, they're all sort of doing this W at the same time.
Idea. Same time frame, same idea, same setup on, I don't know, more than 50% of the altcoins. That's why it seems like someone painted that image on the chart. That's why I don't trust it. Okay, October, okay, we'll go up. But we'll go up from this level or we'll test the lows and then we'll go up. Seems like too many people are waiting to go up from this level and they load up too much. And usually the late, the last people who will try to long something will get burned. Let's wait. Let's be patient. In my view, 1 or 2% open risk at this price, if will be a really nice, I don't know, bounce. Okay, you'll make 10% from your account. If you have 2% up, we'll get I don't know, 3-1, 4-1, 2 setups. You'll make some money. But if you go down, you'll lose only 2%. And you can then look for a 4-hour or daily charts at the support level, exactly like you see on the Ethereum Classic where Kevin drew that horizontal line. That's the level where that's your location. That's the area where you want to bounce.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the trap setting up here. Actually, I was going to say they're laying the trap right here because they're going to put in this fake W, but they've already also established these equal lows here with liquidity below them. So they might just have to take that out first. So just that's the trap that might happen. We'll see if it does or not. But in general, I mean, the bigger picture, yeah, sure. Ethereum Classic looks pretty good. It's not really like I mean, there is a divergence right there, which I like to see just from that low to the new low here. You can see the OBV div trying to come in. It's not confirmed yet. It's trying. It almost just needs to bust out that high, and then you'll have divergence there. So that's just the same story. Let's just be patient. I mean, it's sort of boring to, the same thing every week these days, unfortunately. Although this week looks a little more promising, which is nice, but it's still the same conversation, just a little early. No real, this has like the tiniest little weekly W in there, but technically we did make a cheeky little W. I don't really like those tight W's, but it's there. So if you want to take your shot, okay, fine, but just know that you might have to, it might have to get down here below this. I really like the idea of buying down here somewhere $12. Let them take those lows out. And as I repeat myself again, remember bottoms look like this. They're kind of long. That was I drew it kind of ugly, but you get the point. Bottoms take a long time. So whether we even come back here and say it's something like that, it's just going to take some time to, even if it comes in a little higher, it just needs to sort of slowly round the corner. Those are the best bottoms that produce the highest movement after. If it can just, that's my horrible version of a nice saucer there, but you get the point. So I think that's all the requests, unless anybody has anything else really quick. I could talk about a couple that I just sort of highlighted. I mean, I've been sort of beating this one into the ground, but I really like Zen for whatever reason. It's still early, the same question. I like stuff that looks like this. You could see the little weekly W's coming in. OBV div is Wing out.
That one get my attention, but why fundamentally has only 21 million coins in total.
Yeah. This one only has 21 million. I've been trading this since 2017.
Comp has 10 million, eGold has 10 million. So coins like that, you can put in on a watch list and try to play them swing trade them.
Yeah. Some other ones I've been talking about lately, like Lit. This one has OBV divergence right there. Also trying, I mean, ugly kind of price action here, but it's just sort of bottoming. It's kind of down against the
Kind of
lows.
idea that level on Binance,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
they listed the level.
I
It's just
mean,
a bit below. Could be a
hell,
trap.
yeah, and hell, that's actually quite a lot of downside risk there. So definitely be mindful of that. But I like the general looks. Like Ave is kind of trying. We talked about it. Link a lot this week. Looks really good. You know, Link is almost about to make a weekly W here. The one thing I hate about Link though is the OBV is not really in my favor here. You know, it's sort of it is trying to W, I guess. If it can take out this weekly W high, then it'll have a W there to work with. Nice base though. This is a pretty good example of a long bottom. You know, we want to see these bottoms come in over time, sort of like it's starting to happen. You know, so definitely like Link. And I mean, in the shorter term, going back to the October stuff, you know, maybe there is some sort of October rally and resist. We were talking about this on Friday. Like maybe it comes up here and rolls over again. They sort of fake everybody out, take out the range, and then it has to come back again. We'll see. But in general, actually, Link is now starting to set up a potential OBV divergence because we did dip to that low. And so we actually have potential divergence that way. So just another one that looks good. I already mentioned the sand. What else I got here really quick? I still like this OXT. It's kind of off on the day, but you can see I've been in there buying this. You know, I got 3 fills on this and it's just kind of got this ugly W, but it's still just trying. Nice OBV. KNC was one I've been talking about. It looks like Link kind of, but nice trying to W with OBV divergence there. Like that one. Maker was fucking strong for whatever reason. This thing's taken off. Never really gave a nice weekly W entry down here. Now we have this big, huge weekly W, but there's just nothing to do there. That's like the strongest one in crypto right now, it seems like. What else can I mention here? We got a couple minutes. I mean, a lot of them kind of, you know, of course, I like the strong OBVs. Tongue tied. Strong OBV, not a lot of price action. You can see, you know, the price action looks kind of wonky here, but nice OBV on this. This is 4th. Alpaca, this one I don't know. This one doesn't have structure either. It's making new lows, but strong OBV. Just kind of watching all these.
Just to clarify some things, we are looking now at some setups, some Ws on weekly, on daily chart. If you have the dollar cost averaging plan, just do your thing. Don't stop. Yeah, dollar cost averaging. It's the best time now to keep that plan and start dollar cost average. If you are using, I don't know, an investment plan, little old lady, including our plan, and you have different altcoins that we present on that spreadsheet, and you want to add more, okay, it's up to you. Really good levels to nibble and buy 0.5%. So we are saying it could be a trap. We can go lower, but that doesn't mean it's not okay to buy. Now is the moment to start dollar cost averaging and buy your shitcoins. And then put your hands under your ass and wait until you'll see the top cycle, the P cycle tell you to sell. Or you'll see even me and Kevin saying that we'll go to the moon. Now, then it's time to sell. When you see us.
Yeah. It's not yet, but
I'm joking. I think I have me and Kevin. We have enough experience to recognize when everyone is too bullish. Like we say now, everyone is falling in a trap. Let's hope we'll be the same in the top of the market and we'll start selling. We have a clear plan for that. So dollar cost averaging, guys, keep doing your thing. If you have our plan but different coins, start nibbling because they are good levels for the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Can't go wrong with these levels for dollar cost averaging if you like the coin. I just say all I mean, like this one, you know, this is another earn is. I mean, this is a good example of just talking W's. You know, I've been talking about how wider W's. You know, this was an example of an ugly W, and sure, it took off, and look, it's just done nothing. So there's no rush really here. I went in and bought these levels, and I'm just sort of sitting here, but there was no. This isn't. That's not like a super bullish looking weekly W. It's sort of there, but so just keep those kind of things in mind. That would much prefer a nice wide W with a tighter risk window if possible. But I like it in general. This one, same thing. OBV's pushing higher. I mean, I could go through tons of them like this. So, just like Paul said, it's definitely the time to nibble. It's just kind of, can you keep yourself in check and either dollar cost average and not put on too much risk, or work your levels and not put on too much risk, leave some dry powder in case this is a fake out. That all seems reasonable to me. That's about all I got to say.
Yeah, a lot of altcoins, they look the same. I don't know. Seems like a trap. Maybe it's not a trap. Maybe this time is different. You know how they say. Now definitely will not be different. But because I said it's different, will not be. The problem is, watch out if you are a trader. Doesn't matter if you're a position trader, a swing trader. If you are not an investor without stop loss like we have on the investment plan, keep in mind total risk, because you don't have that I don't know, 10 trades in the market. You have only one trade.
Yeah.
One big trade. If in total you have 10% risk, you have a big trade with 10% risk is not okay. And more than 4%, I think it's not okay to have open in the same time in the market. If you are here for the long run, if you are here to consistently make money, yeah, in the worst case scenario, you should have a drawdown about 10%, but 10% in a month or doesn't mean you can take now 4% or 5%. In 2 weeks, you can get another 4 and 5 and you'll get to 10. You don't have to get in one moment, in one day, in one bad move, 10%. Because from 10, you can get to 20, and that's a bad drawdown. It's hard to recover, and you are here to make money, not to recover the money. Yeah? That's why we put so much attention on protecting the capital, because we should protect first and slowly grow our portfolio. We should not think, okay, I have a drawdown of 20%. That will take me 2 months at least to get the money back, or to get the portfolio at the original place. It's not something you want, and it's hard to do when you are working to get the portfolio at the original place. It's really hard. I'm telling you from my experience, not from books or something else. So watch out for that. Overall, October could be a good month. Usually it is a good month, but what we said is, we said that maybe we'll have a trap first and then we can go up. If we'll be up only, okay, I'm okay with that idea. We have Holy Grail. A lot of you have access on Holy Grail. All premium members have access on Holy Grail. And with Holy Grail, even in this weekend, some VIP guys made some nice money. Carol, for example, got a 10-to-1 risk to reward on Solana. 10-to-1 only on one trade. But nice. He had 4 or 5 trades in the market.
Nice. Yeah, that actually this month could be really good for THG. That's probably a good way to be thinking about it.
If you have a trend, use Holy Grail and you'll make some money. I used Render, and my entry, just for an example, I don't know if you switch to my screen, Kevin. I don't think so.
No, but I can. Yeah, no, I have.
Yeah, you can see my entry in the middle of the night, of course, because I don't sleep usually. But you can see, yeah, entry here. And I said, okay, let's put the entry here. My stop loss a bit below the usually where I should put my stop loss, because I go to sleep and I don't want to think about it. Okay, 0.5% risk on this trade, and I could sleep peacefully. I don't have to think about this trade. And you can see where we are now. Only one trade. I didn't need more than that. And look at the uptrend, really clear one. Up, 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 up. And now I could safely put my stop loss here and live with the results. If I'll be stopped out there, let's see how much I have. So I have more than 5-to-1. So that's 2.5% profit in my trading account. And I put the trade and I didn't do anything else. Yeah? So Holy Grail is made for micro trends. You can see how well respected is the Holy Grail levels. Yeah? Entries, really nice entries, but the most important thing, the stop loss line. You can see this tick line is the stop loss line. This indicator is only like a bonus for premium members. So if you want access to this one, the bull market is closer and closer, and this is the best indicator for a bull market state, for an uptrend. Join our premium membership, and you'll see how we use it, when to use it, when not to use it, how much you should risk, how you should trail with Holy Grail, and maximize the profit, and so on. I don't know. Anything else? I don't think is the case. We covered a lot of charts. I think we're set good to close the live stream, and with Discord, people will hear us tomorrow morning with the daily plan video.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we'll be back as always this week, starting a new month, new quarter. And we'll just see how it goes. Getting closer. So that's nice. All right, well, that's a good way to end with this render trade. That's a nice one. And I don't know. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow at New York session. Paul will be doing the daily plan here for the London session first. So yeah, jump in and say hi. And we might be launching our website this week, hopefully with a little luck. So maybe we'll have our website up here soon. And other than that, always appreciate any feedback. If anybody wants to let us know how we can do these shows better, or how we can run our Discord community better, I'm always open ears on that. And I'll just leave it at that. So have a good rest of your weekends, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So bye-bye.